In a materialist world, one in which we labor under the delusion that the societal reins which tether us are unshakable, many are ever so slightly attempting to ease the tangle and formulate an escape. Some sacred yet troubled souls have taken a more extreme approach and chosen, consciously or subconsciously, to leave this human experience altogether, which, while immediately effective on a physical level, comes with its own wave of repercussions. However, the purpose of this prose is not to praise, condemn, compose, or analyze an earthly escape plan. Rather, to explore how we as individuals can express our inner personal truths, which are often evolving, in a world which demands we choose a side and conform to something, anything. Why this rabid requirement? Often it is so that it becomes easy for others to put us neatly into a box, to place judgment upon us, to keep track of us, and knowingly or unknowingly fuel the illusion of separation that plagues this planet. So why is expressing our personal truth in word and deed so important? Well, speaking from personal experience, as chaotic as we humans can come across, I believe we are meant to live as harmonious beings. And when our thoughts, feelings, words, beliefs, and actions are all in alignment, life is lived with a sweetness, a purpose, a coherence that opens up a grand universe of infinite possibility and limitless potential at our disposal. When our inner and outer worlds don't sync up, for example, when we say things in conversation we know aren't right for us, out of fear of judgment, longing for connection, etc., it can begin to create conflict and disharmony in our being. If we continue to deny our personal truths and make ourselves small, eventually it can lead to all manner of detrimental things like depression, anxiety, and even ill health and disease. I say this from the perspective of one having been on and still on a long and often exhausting journey of learning each moment of every day. But who do you think you are, sir? Isn't it really egocentric to impose your personal truth upon the world? What gives you the right? What happens when opposing personal truths collide? Your personal truth is different than it was a few years ago. Therefore, you must be a fraud, right? Your personal truth contradicts my religion. I know your past mistakes. You're just that person from my workplace. You don't have a degree, so you couldn't have anything wise to say. Do you think you're better than us? Well, here's where I believe things are far less complicated than we humans tend to make them. Many of us are raised to believe that we are nothing special. Even if we are told we're special, often the things that make us stand out are non-conformities, to quote my favorite holiday special, are discouraged and kept hush-hush. If we are raised in religious families, we are often told that all of the prophets have already come and gone. All that's left today are normal people. Humble servant of God is all that you can hope to be. And I believe there is a sacred beauty in being a humble servant of the Creator. However, I simultaneously believe that that same Creator has imbued many of us with great callings and deep purpose, none more relevant than another. A kind smile to a stranger in the grocery store is every bit as powerful a service to others as feeding the hungry in an impoverished place. It all comes down to the heart and the intent behind the word and deed. And when those words and deeds are expressing what is within, there is true power. Power to release waves of positive influence across this planet on multiple levels. Ego need not play a role in any of it whatsoever. The other aspect, which I believe is extremely relevant and something we've forgotten in this day and age, a still small voice drowned out by the clutter and clamor of a modern materialist society, is that perfection is not a prerequisite for this human experience. This planet we are on is a massive training ground of sorts. We are here to make mistakes and learn from them. Learn the lessons of love, forgiveness, redemption. Redemption. Now there's a word not spoken often, if at all, in these turbulent times. We are also preoccupied with our digital witch hunts and our city center mudslinging rages. We have forgotten a profound truth that so many of the teachers, priests, and prophets of old have passed down to us. That truth is, we are all on a hero's journey, individually and collectively, as people and as a planet. As such, an essential part of that journey is redemption. We have all made mistakes and lost our way, as individuals and as the human race. But until we learn to choose love over condemnation, until we learn to perceive forgiveness and kindness as strengths, not weaknesses, until we learn to help each other up when we fall and fail, until we learn to see not only ourselves, but the Creator in the faces of others, well, I don't by any means claim to be any sort of a great prophet, teacher, or healer. I'm simply a misfit mystic born into a lower middle class rural American family who spent nearly 5 decades clumsily navigating the mundane world, often suffocating that still small voice within in countless failed attempts to find a place of belonging. Having endured much suffering, often of my own design, and slowly learning the fine art of perceiving such as catalyst for positive growth and development, I offer these humble musings regarding personal truth. I sincerely hope this series will, with respect to free will, aid in the ease of suffering upon this planet, comfort, encourage, and find resonant eyes and ears at just the right magic moment.